morning, YouTube. Right, well, first of all, I will give you a bit of a background, because this is going to be a bit more of a tech vlog today. This is going to be very techy, so put your tech heads on, because I'm going to give you a bit of history. Back in, I think it must have been like 2006, 2005, I bought myself a computer off eBay. Before you say anything, it was probably the worst decision of my life, because this computer has actually lasted the time and been able to play the games, but the processor wasn't compatible with the motherboard, the RAM blew up, the graphics card was pathetic, and it cost me as much as a pretty decent computer would have in the first place. It wouldn't overclock, so I couldn't get any decent speeds out of it, but it has served me 5 years, I have to say, and out of the case, this is what she looks like. The motherboard is a P5 N32 SLI Premium Wi-Fi, and it was fitted with a Q6600. For you that weren't techie, that's a quad-core 2.4 GHz processor. Not sure what the L3 cache was. And I upgraded it. When I bought it, it had 8 gig of RAM, but 4 gig blew up. Well, actually, I think it was 2 gig that blew up, and it didn't work without all 4 sticks, which was a bit of a pain in the backside. But the first graphics card that it came with was the Gigabyte, that way up, Gigabyte 9400. I know this off the top of my head, it's just not coming at the moment. Gigabyte 9400 GT. It's 1 gig of RAM, and it's pretty pathetic for what it is, sort of thing. If you want to buy this, send me an email, and you can have it for about 40 quid. It's pretty terrible, but it does do 2 screens, dual DVI, which is great. It served me well until I upgraded to the 9800 GT, also 1 gig of RAM. This is the green edition, so it's slightly reduced in performance, but it does have a lot less power requirements. So it was able to run just straight off the card over the PCI card there without having any additional power sockets, which was very great. It's 1 gig of DDR3 RAM as well. It was an absolute great card. Plays most games. It plays Race Driver Grid. Maxed out resolution on my screen. I do have 2 screens. I'm going to buy another one. They'll be probably in another tech blog. But yeah, this is a beautiful card. It's just a shame that it is a bit old. So now we come on to the main board itself. It's a P5 N32 SLI. It has 3 PCIe x16s. Only 2 of them run at full bandwidth. Whoops. 2 of them run at full bandwidth. That's the top one and the bottom one. They can run over 3-way SLI, I believe, but I only tried 2-way SLI, and that reduced performance greatly. I was using the 9400 as a PhysX card and using the 9800 as a dedicated full-on graphics card. But Nvidia decided to release new drivers which didn't allow the 9400, sorry, I'm getting them all in a muddle, the 9400 to be a PhysX card, purely because it didn't have the enough shader cores or something like that. I didn't really read into details, I was just very annoyed that it didn't work. So I was always using the older drivers, which caused a bit of systems instability. But I think it was just because my motherboard is incompatible with the processor. But for some reason it has worked over the years, and she died the other day. I'm very sad to say and to let it go. I did have a different cooler on here, but my plan is now, because I do believe that it is just a motherboard problem. I do hope very much so that it is just a motherboard problem, because I am planning on getting another motherboard and replacing all the components inside. If this doesn't work, I'm not going to be very happy. And then putting all those components into a Pelican case, so that I have a portable computer. So all that has to require is I take a cable out and plug in the cable to the port, and I have a full computer out of a briefcase. Now, most of you would say, why don't you just have a laptop? Well, I do have a laptop. That's what I'm recording the thing on at the moment. You would usually be using my computer to be recording, but I can't at the moment. Sad face. So, yeah, death of the computer. Very sad. The funeral is on Thursday. If any of you in YouTube land would like to attend, send me a message and I'll give you the address. You know, oh well. Sorry this has been such bad quality. My camera was in Cyprus. We'll be posting some pictures of the amazing Cyprusness. I wasn't the one in Cyprus, unfortunately, but it was one of my friends who I trust very dearly with my camera. I said if he broke it, he could buy me a 5D Mark II. Unfortunately, he hasn't broken it, so I haven't got a 5D. So I will see you later. Auf Wiedersehen.